The lace and cable panel works over a multiple of 21 stitches. So for this example, I cast on 31. Because it works on a background of reverse stockinette stitch, I have multiples of 5 on each side that I'm using just for the background. But this is the panel itself. And you can see great detail here with the cabling that's done on the sides and the lace that goes up the middle. Now, because this is worked with a background of reverse stockinette, I thought I would do 2 quick rows of reverse stockinette to start it. That's not something I would recommend. Instead, I would recommend, if you were to do that, just to use regular stockinette stitch down where the panel is, and then maybe the 2 on each side in the reverse stockinette, so that way that the pattern just keeps going on to the beginning. So let's go ahead and get started on this. For row 1, which is your right side, you'll begin by purling. So I'm going to purl those 5 that are part of my background. And if you're doing a background like I am, I do recommend a stitch marker because it's really easy to forget about that. So for the lace and cable panel, we're going to begin by purling 2. Then we're going to knit in the back loop 4 times. So over these next 4 stitches, just knit in the back loop. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together, but not your standard way. You're going to knit 2 together through the back loop. Then we're going to knit 3. Then knit 2 together. Yarn over, knit 1. Then we'll knit through the back loop for 4 more stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you'll purl 2. Then I'm going to slip my marker and just purl the other 5 for the background. For row 2, I'm going to begin by knitting those 5 stitches for my background. And then we'll begin the panel work. And for row 2 and all the wrong side rows, you'll do the exact same thing. And that is to knit 2. Then we're going to purl through the back loop 4 times. So to purl through the back loop, put your yarn up front as if to purl. And then you're going to go into the back loop just like so. That's 1. 2, 3, and 4. After you do that, you'll knit 1 and then purl 7. Then knit 1 and purl through the back loop over each of the next 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, then knit 2. I'm going to slip my marker and knit those last 5 for the background. For row 3, I'm going to purl those first 5 stitches of the background. Now for the panel, we'll begin by purling 2. Then we're going to knit in the back loop 4 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to knit 2. Yarn over and knit 2 together through the back loop. Then we're going to knit 1 and knit 2 together. Then we'll yarn over and knit 2. Then knit through the back loop 4 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then end by purling 2. I'm going to slip this marker and purl my background stitches. For row 4, we're going to repeat row 2. So I'm going to knit these first 5 stitches for the background. Then we're going to start on the panel. So we're going to knit 2, purl through the back loop 4 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to knit 1 and purl 7. Knit 1. Then we're going to purl through the back loop 4 times. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then knit 2. I'm going to slip my marker and knit through the background. For row 5, I'm going to purl those first 5 background stitches. And I'm going to slip my marker. For the panel, we will purl 2. Now we're going to do the cable work. And this is a CB4F. So it's a cable with the back 4 front. And I'm going to make this make sense for you. So we're going to slide 2 stitches onto your cable needle. We're going to hold them at the front of your work. That's what the F stands for in the stitch. But the cable back means we're going to be knitting in the back loops of the next 2 stitches. So knit in the back of the next 2. Then we're going to place these stitches back onto our left hand needle, and we're going to knit through the back of those as well. So there's 1 and 2. Now we'll knit 3. Yarn over, and we're going to do an SK2PO. So that means slip, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over. So we have that yarn over. So we're going to slip, knit 2 together, and pass that slip stitch over. Then we'll yarn over, and we're going to knit 3. Now we're going to do our CB4B, so our cable back 4 in the back. So we're going to take our cable needle and 2 stitches off of our left hand needle. And we're going to slide those off onto our cable needle and hold it at the back. And now we're going to knit into the back of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2. Now we'll take those 2 stitches, making sure not to twist them, and put them back onto your left hand needle, where we will then knit in the back of those 2 stitches. So there's 1 and 2. Then we're going to purl 2, and then we'll purl our background stitches. For row 6, I'm going to knit the background stitches, we'll slip the stitch marker, and then we start the panel. So we will knit 2, then we're going to purl through the back loop 4 times. So, oops, let's try that one again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll knit 1, and we're going to purl 7. Now knit 1 and purl through the back loop 4 times. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then end by knitting 2. And I'm going to slip this marker and knit my background stitches. For row 7, I'm going to purl my background stitches. And now we'll start the panel. So we're going to purl 2, and then we'll knit in the back loop 4 times. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll knit 9. Now we'll knit through the back loop 4 times. Then we'll end that panel by purling 2. And I'm going to slip my marker and purl those last 5 for the background stitches. For row 8, I'm going to knit these background stitches. And slip this marker. And then this is basically a repeat of row 2. So we're going to knit 2, purl through the back loop 4 times. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll knit 1 and purl 7. Then knit 1, and we're going to purl through the back loop 4 times. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and knit 2. I'll slip this marker and finish knitting my background stitches. And that is it for the lace and cable panel. All you need to do to continue growing your work is keep repeating rows 1 through 8 until you reach your desired length. And I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I will see you later with more tutorials. Happy knitting! Bye-bye.